Hello everyone, my name is Alexis and welcome to today's class. We're going to begin in Tadasana. You don't need any props unless you like to have them with you. Come to mountain pose, stacking your shoulders over your hips, over your knees, over your ankles, and we're going to begin by holding a mudra. It's a hand gesture, and you're just going to bring the pinky side of your hands together and cup them like a bowl. And you'll just rest your elbows by your sides with this bowl in front of you. Close your eyes here in your mountain pose if that feels comfortable for you, and begin to breathe in and out through the nose, dropping your awareness into your body, onto your mat here in this space. The theme of today's class is the third yama, ASTEYA. The yama, if you're not familiar, are the first limb in the 8 limbs of yoga. The yamas are recommendations of things we shouldn't do so that we can live a fulfilling and happy and peaceful life. Today's class is themed around ASTEYA, which is the Sanskrit word, and when we translate it to English, it roughly means non-stealing or don't steal. And you might be thinking, this is pretty easy. I don't steal from stores. I'm not a shoplifter. But there are a lot of ways that we can steal from each other, from the earth, and from ourselves. We're going to explore those in today's class. But to begin, I just want to offer you a couple of examples of what stealing from yourself and others could look like. For instance, how often, I think we can all admit to this, how often have you been late to a coffee date with a friend, a meeting at work, a family gathering, a religious event? Being late is a form of theft. When we are late, it shows that the other person's time is invaluable to us, and we are quite literally stealing their time from them by not honoring the time they are giving us. Another example is in conversation. Conversation is a give and a take, a back and forth of ideas and thoughts and emotions. It's a beautiful thing. But when you are interrupted, something is stolen from you. Maybe your enthusiasm, maybe your desire to engage. And to flip it on the other side, when you interrupt somebody else, you're also robbing yourself of the right to be heard. You are forcing your way in instead of allowing the conversation to flow. No one likes being interrupted, and that is a form of theft as well. One other example I will give before we move into our class today is how are we honoring our resources? We live in a very fast-paced, consumeristic society, at least here in the Western world. It's easy to throw things away and buy new things to replace them without even really evaluating, did the original item need to be thrown away? Could we repair it? Could we modify it? Could we change it? Everything we have, everything we own, everything we interact with was created from a resource that we took from the earth. And the earth, of course, is a finite resource. There's only so much that the earth can give us to use. When we willy-nilly throw things away, we don't repair what we have, we don't honor and respect the things that we are given or purchase for ourselves, that is also a form of theft. We are being poor stewards of the resources and clothing and food and even fun things that we have been given and that we have purchased ourselves. This theft of others and of ourselves comes from an outlook that can go one of two ways. Seeing the world from a place of fear and of lack, or seeing the world from a place of hope and abundance. When you live in fear and lack, there is never enough. And when you live in hope and abundance, there is always enough. This is the mentality that makes ASTEYA so important, because ASTEYA shows us the mentality to guide the rest of our life by. That's pretty powerful. Continue to breathe here in Tadasana, holding this mudra. We're going to return to this a couple times throughout class. And as we move through the following postures, I just want you to think on your own life. How are you stealing from yourself and others? Go ahead and open your eyes. We're going to move into tree pose. So transfer your weight into your right foot and really root down through that right foot. Imagine there's tree roots growing out of your foot. Open up your left knee and bring that left foot either to your right ankle, your right calf, or your right inner thigh. And you've arrived in tree pose. You can keep your hands on your hips, you can bring them to heart center, or if you're feeling really strong today, you can lift them up overhead, growing yourself up like a tree. But to reiterate our theme of ASTEYA, don't force it. Don't force yourself into something that you are not here for today. Understand and acknowledge where you are and meet yourself where you are at. Forcing yourself into anything is robbing yourself of the ability to grow as you need. Beautiful. Let that left foot come back to the mat, hip width apart, and exhale, sink the hips into chair pose. Rock your weight back into your heels, maybe see if you can wiggle your toes, and come back up to a straight spine. Beautiful. Bring your hands back to your hips, transfer your weight into your left leg, and imagine roots are growing out of that left foot. Open up the right knee, just as far as is natural, and place that right foot either on your ankle, your inner shin, or your inner thigh. Push the thigh and the foot together, or the shin and the foot together to help stabilize you. Lengthen your tailbone down to the mat. Inhale and lift up out of your joints. You're a tree. Trees grow up. They are rooted and grounded, but they also reach to the sky with all of their limbs. Just as you are here today, even if your arms aren't reaching over your head. Breathe deep. Acknowledge, how can I give to myself in this class? Selfishly, without motivation, without ulterior motive. Let that right foot come back to the mat, hip width apart. Bend the knees, sink the hips down into your chair pose. You can keep the arms reaching up overhead or bring your hands to heart center. Up to you. Rock your weight back into your heels. Deep breath. Lengthen the tailbone down to the mat. Keep holding. You're doing amazing. Breathe and come on up. Very nice. Exhale the hands down to heart center. And we're going to come to the front of the mat. Inhale the arms, down, around, and up overhead. Exhale, bend the knees, hinge at the hips into forward fold. Lift up halfway, lengthen through the spine, lengthen the head away from the hips. Deep breath in, exhale, bend the knees, plant the feet, step back into plank pose. From plank, you can press your bum up to the sky into downward facing dog. And you can walk it out here in your downward dog, press through the hands, press through the feet, find what feels good here. Beautiful. Take another deep breath in and out here in your downward dog. And we're going to start with the right foot, bringing it up between the hands. Lower the left knee down to the mat and come up into your low lunge. Make sure that right knee is directly over the right ankle. Let the hips fall forward. Lift up through the chest. Shine your heart forward. You're expansive and abundant. Take a deep breath in and exhale it out. Let your hips fall a little more forward, relaxing into the posture while still pushing through your right heel. Bring your right hand to your hip and reach the left fingers up and over into a side bend to the right. Keep your legs stable, keep your bottom half almost exactly the same. Nothing changes in your low lunge, you're just tipping your upper body to the side. Breathe to keep yourself stable. Come back to center. Plant the left hand down on the mat. Swing the right arm up to the ceiling, coming into your easy twist in your low lunge. If you want to curl the back toes under and lift the left knee off the mat, you are welcome to do so, but it is not required. And this whole class is about not stealing from yourself. So don't push yourself for the sake of pushing yourself today. Meet yourself where you're at. Acknowledge that maybe you could go easier on yourself today. Or, contrary-wise, acknowledge that maybe you could push yourself. It's up to you to discern that. Bring the right hand back down to the mat. Press the hips back over the knees, straighten through the right leg, coming into half split. If you want blocks into your hands, that's okay. Always use blocks if you need them. And if your leg doesn't straighten, that is okay too. If it's still bent, that's fine. Mostly we're just aiming to get a nice stretch in the back of the right leg, and it doesn't matter if your leg is straight or not. If you're feeling the stretch, you are doing it right. Take a couple breaths here, maybe tuck the chin into the chest to get a little bit more length in the spine. Beautiful. Bend into the right knee, plant the hands, step the right foot back into downward facing dog. Then breathe. Walk it out, maybe shimmy the hips if you feel the need. Really press through the hands here, almost like you're about to go up into a handstand. Beautiful. Bending through the knees if that feels comfortable. If you need to bend the knees at any point to lengthen through the spine or re-lengthen your spine, do so. Bring the left foot up between the hands, lower the right knee down to the mat, and come up into your low lunge. Same thing as what we did on the other side. Left knee is directly over the left ankle, letting the hips fall forward, lifting the arms up and overhead. Breathe. Find one point to focus on if that will help you keep your balance. Imagine your belly button can scoop your internal organs back to your spine to help stabilize you. Bring your left hand to your left hip and reach the right fingers up and over, giving yourself a nice side bend to the left. And like I said last time, your lower body should not change. You are lifting up out of your hips and tilting your torso over to feel a nice stretch on the whole right side. You can look up or down or forward, whatever is most comfortable for your neck. Come back to center, plant that right hand and windshield the left arm up to the ceiling, coming into your easy twist. And just like on the other side, if you wanted to lift the back knee off the mat, you are welcome to, but it is optional, and only do it if you feel like it will serve you. If you feel like it'll push you too far, don't do it. We often don't need to push ourselves as much as we think we do. We have a lot more innate motivation than we can even imagine. Beautiful. Bring the left hand to the mat and press the hips back over the right knee. And again, you can try and straighten that left leg, but if it's bent, that's totally fine. If you need blocks underneath your hands, please grab them. It is always better to bring the floor to you. Tuck the chin into the chest. See how much you can relax. If you want to feel a little bit more of a sensation behind your leg, imagine you can lengthen your tailbone towards the back of your mat, almost a little bit like a booty pop. It's very subtle, but it'll help add length and flexibility in the back of your leg. Beautiful. Bend into that left knee, plant the hands, and step right back into downward facing dog. Bend through one knee and then the other. Press through the hands, maybe bend both knees to really ensure that your spine is as straight and long as it possibly can be. Pressing through the pads of the thumbs and the forefinger. And it's okay if your heels don't touch here in downward dog. That's not the point. The point is to be pushing through the hands and the arms so much it feels like you're about to jump into handstand. Bring the right foot forward between the two hands. Inhale right up into your high lunge. And same thing here. Your right knee's over your right ankle. You're pressing through your back foot. You're lifting up through your chest. Your arms are lifted up to the ceiling. Your belly button is pressing your organs back to your spine, and you're letting your hips fall forward. And breathe. Again, maybe find one point to focus on. We're going to be doing several balancing poses later, so on your next exhale, come forward into Thunderbolt. So you're leaning your torso straight forward over that bent leg so that from your head to the left foot is one straight line. This is really going to make that right leg work really hard. So go easy on yourself. If you need to take a break at any point, do so. Spring off of that left foot to bring all your weight onto your right foot and lift the left knee into the chest. Bring the hands to cactus on either side, arriving in dancing Shiva. Another balancing pose. Keep that left foot super flexed. Lift up out of your joints. Push your heart forward like it's a beacon shining light ahead of you. From here, step the left foot back behind you. Return to Thunderbolt. So your legs are in a high lunge position, but your torso is bent over at a diagonal over that front leg. Beautiful. A couple more breaths. Beautiful. And then from here, you can walk that back foot a little closer to your right leg and come into Warrior 3. If you want blocks underneath your shoulders, underneath your hands here, please grab them. If you need to use the back of a couch or a chair to assist you in your balance, do it. The most important thing is you keep flexing that back left foot. You're lengthening through the spine, and the right leg can be bent or straight. Beautiful. Land the left foot back onto the mat. Come up into your high lunge, arms up overhead. Big breath in. And exhale, hands back down to the mat. Step back into your downward facing dog. Beautiful. If you need to come into child's pose for a moment, do so. If you'd rather walk out your downward dog, do so. Choose your own adventure here. Wherever you are, take several breaths and check in with your body. How did that feel? Do you feel like you pushed yourself too hard? Come back into downward facing dog and bring the left foot in between the hands, coming up into your high lunge on your left side. So same principles apply. Left knee is over that left ankle, lots of energy going out the back of the right foot, lifting up through the chest, lifting the arms up to the ceiling, creating stability by engaging your core. Find one point to focus on, your drishti point, your North Star, that you can focus on for all of the following balancing poses. And breathe. Beautiful. Come into Thunderbolt, send the hands back, tilt the torso forward. Still lots of energy out of that right heel. Your body is one long line from the top of your head all the way to the bottom of your right foot. Your left leg might be shaking, and that's okay. If you need to come out of it at any point, that's fine. Do it, and then come right back in. Meet us wherever we are. Take the breaks you need. Beautiful. Spring off that back right foot. Bring your weight into the left leg. Bring the right knee up into your belly. Arms cactus on either side of your head into dancing Shiva. Reorient yourself. Find your drishti point again. Find that one point of focus. Engage through your core. Lengthen the spine down to the mat. Feel stable here just for a moment. You're strong. You're balanced. Send the right foot back behind you, coming into Thunderbolt. One more time. Breathe. Press through the heel of that left foot to really strengthen in the left leg. Beautiful. Hop the right foot back a couple steps and come up into Warrior 3, lifting the right leg back behind you, flexing the foot. It's okay if the left leg is a little bent. It's okay if you need blocks under your palms, and it's okay if you need to hold onto the back of a couch or a chair. Whatever you need to do to make this pose feel strong. Let that right foot land back on the mat, coming up into your high lunge. And exhale the hands down to the mat. Make your way back into downward facing dog. If you want to flow through a vinyasa, you're welcome to. If you want to sit back in child's pose, you're welcome to. Wherever you are, breathe nice and deep. If you were in child's pose, press yourself back up into downward facing dog. Reorient yourself to your body in that position. Press through the heels, press through the hands. Beautiful. You're doing amazing. Bring that right foot between the hands. And we're going to come into Warrior One. So your left foot's going to plant flat on the mat with the toes out to the left a little bit. That right knee is still directly over the right foot. Inhale the torso up, arms up overhead, and make sure that your ribs are oriented straight in front of you, like headlights. Press through that right heel. Really activate the back of the right leg. Beautiful. Bring the hands behind you and clasp them together. Guide the hands down between your legs, down towards your bum, and look up to the ceiling. Deep breath in, and then exhale, let the torso fall forward into Humble Warrior. You can keep your hands clasped behind your back, or if that's a little too tricky for your balance, you can bring your hands to the mat or to blocks. It is up to you. Do not rob yourself of an experience you need to have. If you need more support, that's important. Inhale yourself back up into Warrior One. Straighten that front leg. Make sure your hips are straight forward, like headlights. Inhale up nice and tall. Exhale, keep your spine forward and bend forwards. Arms reaching out in front of you. If you need to bring your hands to your hips, that is absolutely fine. But if you want to challenge yourself, you can stretch the arms out in front of you, almost like you're coming into a halfway lift here in your pyramid pose. We're not relaxing into this as a forward fold. This is a very active pose. Push through the heels, and then relax your hands to the mat, bend through the right knee, and step back into downward facing dog. Well done. No matter how that went for you, I am proud of you. That is a challenging little sequence. Take a couple breaths. Reorient yourself. Where are you in your body? Did you do what you needed? Did you push yourself too far? Or could you have pushed yourself a little more? Double check and be kind to yourself. Do not rob yourself of an experience you need to have. Bring the left foot up between the hands. Plant the right foot back behind you with the toes slightly out, and come up into Warrior One. Left knee is directly over the left ankle, like all of our other poses so far today. Inhaling up nice and tall. Deep breath in and out through the nose here in Warrior One. And then bring the hands behind you. Clasp the hands the other way, the weird way. Inhale, look up to the ceiling. Guide the hands down towards the mat. And on your exhale, let the chest fold forward over that left thigh, coming into Humble Warrior. And just like on the other side, you can keep your hands clasped or you can bring them down to the mat or blocks. It is up to you. This side might be different. You might feel stronger or a little weaker on this side. Check in with yourself and ask that question, what do I need here? Is it the same as the other side or is it different? And know that any answer to that question is okay. In fact, it's good. Knowing yourself, knowing what your body needs is challenging, but good. Come back up into Warrior One. Press through the left heel to lift yourself back up. Straighten that left leg. Check in with your hips. Make sure they're straight in front of you, or facing straight in front of you. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward with a straight spine. You can keep the arms reaching out in front of you, or you can bring them to your hips. Keep pressing through the heel of that left foot. If you need to do a micro bend in that left leg, do so. We don't want to lock out our knees. Breathe. Check in with yourself. How do you feel? Is this different from the other side? Bring the hands to the mat, bend through the left knee, and come back into your downward facing dog. You did incredible. Press through the hands, press through the feet. Reorient yourself. Check in. How did that go? Did you honor where you needed to be? Walk your hands back to meet your feet. So you're coming to stand at the back of your mat, roll yourself up to Tadasana, and we're going to come back into that mudra that we started class with, the Hasta Mudra. Close your eyes and just breathe. We won't be here for long. I just want you to breathe in and out through the nose. Feel the shape of your hands. And check in. Did I steal from myself in the flow up until now? And if so, how? Did I push myself too hard? Did I not challenge myself enough? Both are valid. Was there some way I made myself smaller than I needed to be? Or bigger than I needed to be? Every interaction is an opportunity to give and take, and it is finding the balance of that. That is key to ASTEYA. Just a couple more breaths here. We're going to do one more final sequence before we take it down to the mat and to our meditation. Beautiful. One more deep breath in and out through the nose. Rest your hands by your sides and pay attention to my cues. This is a quick little sequence combining everything we've done so far. Transfer your weight into the left foot. Lift the right knee up into the chest, coming into Dancing Shiva. Arms by your head. Beautiful. Reach that right foot out in front of you. We're coming into pyramid pose. So both legs are straight, feet are about hip width apart. Inhale and exhale, fold forward, arms straight out in front of you like you're doing a halfway lift. Spine nice and long. Bring the hands back to the hips. Inhale, lift up. Maybe walk that right foot forward a couple inches and come into Warrior One, bending into the right knee, arms lifting up overhead. Deep breath in and out here. Beautiful. Pivot that left foot so the heel comes off the mat so you arrive in your high lunge. Small little transition from Warrior One to high lunge. Come into Thunderbolt. Send the hands back behind you. Bend over that front leg. Fold over that front leg. Lots of energy going out that left heel. Beautiful. You're doing amazing. Spring off that left foot and lift up into Warrior Three. You're doing amazing. Lots of energy out that back foot. Don't worry, we're not here for very long. Hug that left foot into the chest, arriving in Dancing Shiva. Beautiful. You're doing incredible. Send that left leg back into Warrior Three. Once again, you can always bend the knee here if you need to. Let that left foot come down into Thunderbolt. Lots of energy from the top of your head to the heel of your left foot. Your right leg might be quivering, that's okay. Inhale the arms up overhead into your high lunge. Check in with your breath. Are you breathing? Readjust your back foot so it's planted and you arrive in Warrior One. If you need to narrow your stance a little, do so. Bring the hands to the hips. Straighten that right leg. Inhale up nice and tall and exhale. Fold over your front leg, keeping the spine straight. Beautiful. Inhale up nice and tall. Spring off that right foot and see if you can arrive right in Dancing Shiva. That's a tricky transition. If you can't, that's okay. I didn't even do it. Just a little challenge if you want to try it. Let that right foot come down to the mat. Give everything a shake. You did incredible. We're just going to do the same thing on the other side. So transfer your weight into your right foot. Beautiful. Hug the left knee up into the chest, coming into Dancing Shiva. Find one point to focus on that will help you with your balance. Continue to breathe in and out through the nose as much as you need, of course. Let that left foot fall forward, landing you into your pyramid position, feet hip width apart, a couple feet distance from each other. Inhale up nice and tall, keep the spine straight, fold forward. Reach the arms out in front of you if you like, or you can keep your hands on your hips. It is up to you. Press through the left heel, activate through the legs, come back up, and bend through that left knee, coming into Warrior One. If you need to walk that foot a little bit forward, do so. Breathe here. Check in with your core. And then pivot that right heel off the mat to come into your high lunge. If you need to wiggle that right foot back, do so. Lengthen the tailbone down to the mat. Exhale, come into Thunderbird. Hands reaching back behind you. Or Thunderbolt, excuse me. Press through that left heel. Lots of energy from the tip of your head all the way down your spine. Spring off that right foot to come into your Warrior Three. And if you need to take a couple steps to get there, do so. You're doing amazing. Keep that right foot super flexed. Lift it, lift it, lift it. Woo! Come up to standing. Hug the right knee into the chest. Coming up into Dancing Shiva. Flex that right foot. You're halfway done. You're doing incredible. Deep breath in, and on your exhale, come back into Warrior Three. Send that right heel back in space behind you. Let it come down to the mat, arriving in Thunderbolt. If your left leg is shaking, that's okay. Mine definitely is. Come up into high lunge. Engage your core. Feel strong and powerful and abundant here. Readjust your back foot so you arrive in Warrior One. Maybe walk it in and let the toes splay out to the side, heel down. Straighten the left leg, hands on the hips. Make sure the hips are straight forward like headlights. Inhale up nice and tall, and exhale, fold forward, keeping the back nice and straight to come to a tabletop back. Arms can reach out ahead if you like. Press back up to a straight spine, and see if you can spring yourself back onto the right leg to come into Dancing Shiva for the last time. Beautiful. Let everything go. Give everything a shake. You did incredible. That was a really complicated flow. No matter how you did amazing. So we're going to come down to the mat via Melasana Squat. So make sure your feet are a little wider than your hips, toes facing out, and then sink your hips down. It doesn't matter how far down you go. If you want to grab a block to put under your bum, do so. We're not here for very long though. Press your heels into your knees. Lengthen up nice and tall through the spine. Let your hips stretch and release. Beautiful. And then let your bum come down to the mat. And we're going to come into butterfly pose. So soles of feet together, knees apart. Inhale up nice and tall. Exhale, fold forward. No matter how you did, no matter if maybe you were too hard on yourself or too easy on yourself, know that that's okay. Come back up to a straight spine, bring the knees together, swivel yourself on your mat so you can come to lie down on your back. Keep the feet planted on the mat. Press into the heels, lift your hips over to the left, and lower the knees to the right, coming into a reclined twist. Your hands can be straight out from your shoulders, or you can bend at the elbows, coming into goalpost or cactus arms. It is up to you. Choose your own adventure. As much as ASTEYA is about don't steal, it is also about how can we give? How can we give to ourselves? How can we give to others? How can we give to the planet? When you live from a place of abundance, you are able to be more generous, regardless of how much you have. When you live from a place of lack and of fear, generosity can be foreign. ASTEYA encourages us to view the world through a lens of abundance, that there is enough for everyone, including me, and including you and everyone else. Bring the knees back into center. At this time, press into the heels, lift the hips over to the right, and lower the knees to the left. You're welcome to close your eyes here. We're slowly making our way to Shavasana. And like I said, no matter how you did, don't beat yourself up if you were too hard on yourself or you didn't challenge yourself like you wanted to. What was is what was. No matter what, you learned something, hopefully today. Maybe you challenged yourself in a new way, and that in and of itself is a gift as well. When we can move through rest and through challenge with care is when we most learn how to not steal from ourselves and others on the planet. Bring the knees back to center. Readjust your hips so everything's nice and in line, and we're going to come into Shavasana. You can have the feet as wide as the mat with the knees knocking together if you want. You can also extend the legs out long, feet as wide as the mat, if that is comfortable. You are also welcome to take Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined butterfly pose with the soles of feet together and knees out. It is up to you. Pick whichever one feels good and nourishing and most restful. Close your eyes. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. And enjoy your Shavasana. You have nothing you need to do here, nothing you need to think, and nothing you need to feel. Rest and let be whatever is. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Make circles with the wrists and the ankles and any other movements that feel good. Maybe do a full body stretch or hug the knees into your chest. But wherever you are, make your way up into a cross-legged seated position. We're just going to finish with a short meditation. Make yourself comfortable. Make sure your spine is nice and tall. Bring your hands back for the last time in that Hasta Mudra. Pinky sides touching, creating a bowl with your hands. And for this short meditation, I'm going to offer up a mantra to go with the mudra. Breathing in and out through the nose. Relaxing through your body. Repeat to yourself in your mind, I have everything I need. I have everything I need. I have everything I need. Continue repeating that to yourself, out loud or internally, for the next couple of minutes. I have everything I need. I have everything I need. I have everything I need. Take one last deep breath in and out through the nose and release the mantra. You can let your hands come back to rest in your lap. And when you are ready, bring your hands to heart center. Take a moment of gratitude for the ways that you have served yourself and the things you have learned in today's class. All of it is good, and I'm very proud of you. When you are ready, you may open your eyes. Thank you so much for doing this class with me. I really hope you enjoyed it. I had so much fun putting it together. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. That's how I know that these are the classes I should keep on making. Also subscribe because I have a lot of fun classes coming your way this summer. Meditations, a meditation series, a bunch of shorter classes and longer classes, and I can't wait to bring them to you. Until next time, have a lovely rest of your day. Bye for now.